Hey guys, what's up? So, you never heard of me probably. You probably never seen any videos I've ever done. Not famous. I don't have any, friends anywhere. But today I'm going to talk to you guys about something that's really important. And that's what's going on over in Fukushima. A lot of things have been coming out lately about what's going on over there. I would stick to a lot of who's reporting on it. It's very important that you pay attention to what's going on. It is a very, very big deal, everything that's happening. One thing that I would have to say is that the United States government has always been very good at controlling the media. Because who controls the United States government? Well, the rich people. And the rich people don't want you to know there's a problem, so they pay the government to essentially get the media teams to do what they want. It's this big round. I don't know if it works exactly like that, because personally I'm not rich. I'm not poor, but I'm not rich. I'm not in the government either, and so I can't really complain with that one. But see, the thing is, guys, is that Justin Bieber, with his whole big deal that he had, I'm wasting my car because I'm an idiot. Yeah, okay. Or you got Kim Kardashian getting married for the 15th, 16th time. I don't pay attention to it because I know what it is. They're trying to use that story to cover something else up. Now, personally, for me, I understand. Y'all want to be known what's going on with the people you watch on TV or the music you listen to. I don't judge when it comes to that kind of stuff. Personally, I like to look at, I like to keep up on movie stars that I think are cute or hot or whatever. I don't know, that's me. I keep up on them, but I don't live their lives for them. I mean, if you think about it, I was reading this thing a couple days ago, how you use Twitter to tell movie stars what you want them to do or what you want to, it's stupid. But basically, back to the story at hand, Fukushima. What's going on? Well, basically, if you don't know what's happening with Fukushima, I'll, in a nutshell, tell you what's going down. So, how a nuclear reactor works is there is a containment zone, usually made of lead. And inside of that containment zone, there's a bunch of water. And inside the water, surrounded by the water, are these like tubes. I'm not a fission nuclear reactor scientist, so I don't know all these fancy names, but I can basically tell you what they are. And basically, they are just that, a bunch of tubes. And inside those tubes, there's a certain way they do it, but they take uranium rods, and I can't remember if it's nuclear grade, like weapons grade uranium, or if it's just uranium rods in general. But basically, this stuff produces a lot of heat. So in theory, nuclear could be considered a heat generating source like geothermic kind of thing, but not the same. Basically, it evaporates the water that's around it. The steam travels up through these giant turbines, spins the turbines really fast, and then they have those giant stacks. They don't let out smoke, they're letting out steam. This is an awesome way to produce power, in my opinion. I think that it's a great way to work because, you basically have, and if you take care of the uranium rods after they're used up, spent uranium rods actually is what, in Chernobyl, the spent uranium and the still good uranium, terrorists go in there, and buyers, they'll go in there, actually extract it and sell it so that people can make nukes. That's how North Korea and Iraq are getting a lot of their uranium, along with, Russia and China and whoever else wants to help them out. So, anyways, I think it's a great way if you know how to properly dispose of the spent uranium. But see, the problem is you're basically working with half of a nuclear weapon. I mean, think about it. A nuclear weapon works on the fact it splits an atom, which splits another atom, which it kind of makes a chain reaction. Of how I've read it, Please correct me if I'm wrong. I love when people correct me because then I can learn. But it basically makes a chain reaction of splitting atoms. It makes a big explosion because atoms aren't meant to split. They're meant to stay together. They're so small that they're meant to stay together. They're not meant to just go. That's why you don't hear about nukes just randomly happening in nature. Okay? And then there's uranium rods surrounding this central core. And it pretty much blasts radiation everywhere. So that the blast will, yeah, of course, destroy things, but the radiation is what you got to worry about because that can just get into those clouds that go up have a lot of uranium, radiation, and it can travel. So I'm kind of giving you guys a science lesson right now on how this kind of stuff works and why this stuff even exists. And you ever heard of a nuclear winter? That's when a bunch of nukes go off at once. There's so much clouds of radiation and crap in the air going, whoa, and it turns into a nuclear winter because it blocks off the sun. So, and I bet you a lot of you guys have been, you've been desensitized to what uranium and radiation can actually do. If you want to look up stuff, go look at pictures of people that have been deformed because of like Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Those ones weren't basically made to put out radiation. They were made to make a big boom. And you can pretty much just see what the effects of radiation were. So what's going on over in Fukushima is basically with that giant earthquake that happened, it like just broke open these giant lead containers. Things started spilling out every which way, and everything was pouring into the ocean. And at one point, they were taking a running water straight over the rods to keep them cool, which was going straight into the ocean. I mean, come on. That doesn't sound stupid to you? I mean, that's putting all that water that has that radiation in there, because the water normally won't have radiation because those tubes contain the radiation so that it doesn't get out in the water, turn into steam, and go up in the air. But see, those tubes have cracked, letting in radiation into the water. So now you're running this water over it that's going into the ocean. Okay, big deal, that can happen, we can do that. We can handle that for a year. That's not really going to make a lot of difference. But have you really been paying attention? I mean, I have. I've been reading about what's been going on. Things are dying in the ocean. Fish are just randomly washing up dead. Sea mammals are just dying, and the whales are just getting their asses kicked because they can't handle it. Because, if you don't remember, Fukushima was back in 2011. And they've been pulling this stuff since 2011. It's 2014 now. Wake up! It's been happening for 3 years now. In March, it'll be 3 years this has been going on. The Japanese government even admitted to doing this kind of stuff. We're not doing anything about it. I personally live near Sacramento, California, a small town called Dixon. If you ever want to look it up, it's a really small town. Basically, though, I'm right next to a delta. There's been a lot of talk lately about the delta being dried up so more water can be moved down to, LA area, and it redirect, which would totally just destroy Dixon because we're in an agricultural community. But I just kind of thought about it. Radiation can penetrate anything. I mean, you can basically have, like, have you ever heard of artesian well? Basically what that is, it's a bunch of rock protecting the above ground water from this in an aquifer. And an artesian well is basically a fissure or a crack that's making water come straight up, or a drilled hole. So you may be thinking, okay, well, we'll just get our water from underground. Think about it this way, though. They don't use just anything to contain the uranium. They use lead. I think it's because of the structural setup of lead. It makes it so that it cannot be penetrated by, radiation cannot penetrate through it. It's something how it just gets, it's kind of like stealth technology. It bounces into it and it bounces around and can't get out, and it basically just bounces off back into the radiation in the opposite direction, so it can never leave. Unless there's a layer of lead, and I'm talking a thick layer of lead in between all the rock that protects the artesian well from the groundwater, our artesian wells are going to get irradiated. I mean, if you think about it, there's nothing protecting anyone from the radiation. Paint is coming off of ships. You know how much radiation that takes? People, I think I've been hearing about people being born mutated over there. I don't know if that's true because I don't live in Japan, so I can't really say if that's true, but I hear the stories. And I know what happens when radiation is dosed to a person. I don't know if you ever played Fallout 3. Oh yeah, I'm going to go do a video game for this. But think about it. All those things were mutated. You had ghouls, you had super mutants. If you played Fallout 3 and you went into the, to get the Gek, only gamers will know what I'm talking about, in that vault, where you meet that super mutant that's your friend, Falks I think his name is, there was a bunch of chambers, and if you really search through that place, you'll find notes about how they used the citizens of the vault that were supposed to be protected. See, the vaults actually weren't used to protect people. They were scientific experiments. Some were made to go on for the entire lifetime of the citizens. Others were made to go on for only a short time to see if people can be reintroduced to the environment. Okay? But if you look around there, you read the computers, you look at books, you read papers, you'll find out that they were injecting into the environment radiation on these people. Some people got a lot, some people got a little. And if you look at some of the people inside those vault containers where they were injecting the radiation, they were mutated. That was a lot of radiation to mutate a human like me. A person that's already born is one thing. I mean, I'm 20 years old. I'm sitting here just like, man, I'm probably not going to grow a third arm out of nowhere. I'm probably not going to get a third eye right there. You know, there's probably stuff that's probably not going to happen to me. But children, I mean, there's already studies showing that if you live in areas of high pollution from vehicles, your child's more likely to have birth defects, including, autism. There it is. So it's like, so what? If that's just smog and pollution, what will radiation do? Now, if you ever look at charts of, the radiation effect moving over the Pacific Ocean, you'll see we're in the yellow zone now, guys. We were in the green zone. We were fine. Everything's happy. Now we're in the yellow zone. And the red zone's moving pretty fast. When the red zone hits us, I don't know. Now, if you've heard this thing called potassium iodine, I'll put a link for some really cheap pills. If you're low on budget, I'll put a link down in the bottom for a place to go to buy it. It's about $6.99 a pill, I think, around there. And not pill, but for $180. Basically, what it does is you have this thing in your body called a thyroid. It's located in the neck area, if I'm correct. Now, what a thyroid does is it kind of processes a lot of stuff. You ever heard of people without thyroid, like with thyroid problems? My mother, for instance, has thyroid problems. Basically, her thyroid doesn't work right, so she gets tired really easily. She's very weak, but if she takes her pills, she's perfectly fine, and she won't die if she doesn't take her pills, but it just messes her up. So your thyroid, believe it or not, it's probably more important. Okay, it's probably not as important, but it's on the same importance level as your heart. And what potassium iodide does is when you ingest or absorb the radiation, the potassium iodide, the iodine in it, your thyroid absorbs that instead of the radiation. So it doesn't just destroy your thyroid. But what's the big problem here is that people think, oh, I should pop this pill or drink this liquid, I'll be safe from radiation. No, it doesn't work like that. Do you have a lead suit sitting home? I didn't think so. Pardon me. Your thyroid is the only thing that's going to be protected. If that. Your body isn't. Your organs aren't going to be protected. This pill doesn't make like a shield that goes over your body. You're like, you can bounce radiation off you, like, you know, I don't know, like, it doesn't protect your body. There's a lot of stuff you gotta do to protect your body. So one thing I would say to everybody living on the East Coast, you know, I'm trying to keep this under 20 minutes because I don't want to bore you guys. Anybody living on the not East Coast, West Coast, I would say California, Washington, Oregon, Mexico, Peru, you know, the northern part of Canada, Alaska, especially Hawaii. Guys, if you're watching in Hawaii, you really need to pay attention and be worried. Any of the islands out there, I don't know, you guys are probably already screwed. But our food source in the Pacific is going away. We're losing fish that we could normally eat. Eventually the radiation is going to meet here. Now the government bought 14 million doses of this potassium iodide to be able to give to people to be able to supply 700,000 people with this so they can, I don't know, get out or whatever. It's a weird thing. But basically, if I were you, I'm going to be actually uploading a lot more videos on survival and packing a proper pack so you can survive. This is basically my opener video. I'm going to be focusing mainly on evacuating for this exact procedure, a nuclear disaster or something along the lines of where radiation is involved. That's where I'm going to hit first. I would go out and buy MREs, the military food packs that come in a thing about this big, and they're just like a bunch of food in there you can eat. Potassium iodide, I would have it. You should have it. I'm not saying don't go out and buy it, but I'm saying you need to have this stuff. Like I said, the link down below will take you to a place where you can get it pretty cheap. Okay, and you're gonna need, you know, okay, so food, okay, and then a bug out bag is always important no matter where you are. Always important to have a bug out bag. Fire, earthquake, yada yada yada, blah blah blah. But in this case, you're going to need to have a bug-out bag to be able to leave your house at a moment's notice and run across the Rockies, basically, guys. This is not a drill type thing. This is not funny. It's scary. I mean, you don't know this, but, I mean, you may think, oh, it would take a long time for, you know, the rest of the world to be infected by it, but you got to think of something. You have the jet streams that are going to push it around, you know, South America, and then if you think about it, not a lot, but a good amount will push through the Panama Canal. We are in a point of, like, disaster. This is not a good thing. Okay? You need to pay attention. Wake up. This is not some conspiracy I'm trying to throw at you. This is real. This is real life stuff, guys. Now, I'm personally a Christian, and I would say if you're not a Christian or you don't believe in anything, you ever heard the term, there are no atheists in foxholes? Well, it's because when there's moments of dire need, you need something to turn to. Find something to turn to. Okay, make sure you have something you can turn to in this time, because you're going to need something that's going to be able to pull you through it. Because it's going to be scary. There's going to be a lot of bad things happening. There's going to be a lot of evacuations going on. West Coast, be ready. The western border on the Pacific, be ready to leave ASAP. Make sure you have a big bug-out bag that you can get and go. Make sure you got, you know, hygiene products, food, clothing, all that. I'll go over in later videos. Hopefully nothing will happen between now and then. Just doing this for your guys' help because this is a very big deal. And I'm going to cut my video right now, just kind of keep it short. I'm going to say to you guys out there, look up stuff, research. Don't take my word for it. I'm not perfect. I'm human. I'm not perfect. Go and research it. Go on Google. Go on wherever you want and look at what's going on. Get an idea for yourself. And so when you come back watching more of my videos, you'll know what I'm talking about. Now, if this doesn't happen, you'll still be prepared for something. But if something does happen, you're going to have stuff ready to go. As most of the population will not. Alright, so, yeah, that's all I gotta say, guys. Be careful. Don't go swimming in the ocean. Try to avoid that at all costs. And ask questions. Get answers. Do your own research. Don't trust the media. That's all I gotta say. Alright, guys, have an awesome day. And hopefully I'll talk to you again later if this doesn't happen too soon.